Cash, and welcome back to Cash Talks Football, where I break down all the goals scored in the Premier League. And today we're doing West Ham against Arsenal. And yeah, you won't find any better technical analysis on the internet than here. So first off, we also know, before we start this game, that Arsenal are very competitive on set pieces. They score a lot of their goals from set pieces for certain people handling the ball, so we know this as well, right? Before we go to this game, we know that set pieces are very important. So there's certain things that if we're setting up to play against them, we make sure we don't do. And one of those things is to have a runner right here, completely free and unmarked. This is the guy that's going to head the ball. He's free. I'm going to try to show you another angle because he starts like way over here with no one marking him and just gets to run in for completely and utterly for free. It's pretty shocking from West Ham, really, because you can't afford to have people on the back post doing nothing if you've got a player free. Now, I'm a big advocate of people being on the post, but that's always a starting position, not a standing position. So what does that mean? You might start there and aggressively attack out, but you don't stand there because otherwise you're just a dead player. There's no point you doing it. So this is the front post area, which we're going to look at right here. And as we move it forward, we're going to see, look, he's going to adjust himself ever so slightly to win the header, but there's also a shove in the back there, which you could probably cause as a foul, because if he doesn't get fouled, he might win the header. I'll show you that from another angle. You can make up your own opinion. I think the defender might have been able to get to it. And as the ball comes across, let's just watch that forward. Look, there you see, he's almost got to it, but he's been shoved completely here, unmarked, after making a little bit of a run, adjusting his footwork, and then getting himself a header. Overall, a needless goal. And here's the other part. Don't know if you noticed it. The keeper moved 2 steps forward. If he hadn't moved and he'd hold his shape in the middle of the goal and he hadn't moved towards that front post, he would have actually saved that because it would have hit him. But let's just show you that other angle so you can make up your own. So here we go. Here he comes running in. He's the player that scores the header. But we want to look at the front post. And this is the interaction we're really trying to watch. These 2 players. 1 there, 2 there. Does he elbow him in the back and stop his flight to win the ball? What do you think? Dosh goes him, starts to push him. Is he trying to win the ball? Not really. Just trying to shoulder him out of the way. And here's the thing, is it really a foul? The problem is, it's in the back. So yeah, it should be a foul. But nowadays, you never know what's a foul because they just change the rules so much to suit whichever team they're refereeing, which is awful. Well, I personally think as he jumps up here, he looks to make a bit of a shove, look, because he extends the arm and he pushes him out. If he doesn't extend that arm, I don't think it's a foul, but he does extend that arm, stopping this player being able to actually jump for the ball properly, and he's so close to actually getting it, he probably would have, and then it's just a tap-in header right here, bomb, on he goes. Knocks it, actually not a tap in, it's a quality header. He knocks it down past the keeper. It's a really good header, to be honest. But I think he does foul him here. I actually don't think that would be a goal if that's properly reviewed, because he does extend the arm and push it through the back. Instead of having it out, he extends it. Yeah, definitely a foul for me. Let me know what you think. Let's move on to the next goal. So here we are, the Odegaard picking up a pocket of space. He's going to be receiving the ball in here. Now, I'm going to do a full breakdown on Odegaard and why he's so important for Man City. If you saw my, I think they were playing Sporting when they beat 4-1. They beat Sporting 4-1. You'll actually understand a lot of what I'm talking about with why Odegaard's so important. And it's not just being in this position, okay? Because there's a difference of a player being in the position and the player being able to read the situation and not only read it, deliver the right pass at the right time. And that's what he does here. He's created himself a pocket of space. No one shut him down. Look at how bad this West Ham 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 players. Oh, well, as we zoom in, don't know how I still do that. Let's just show you those players. What I'm meaning here. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Actually 6 players in a line. He's got his back to really what's going on. He's got his back to this player here. Nowhere near tight enough. Who's supposed to be picking him up here? God knows, because I guarantee you it's one of these many players here for some reason that are all running back on the line doing nothing. And that gives him the time and space when he receives the ball here, bump, passes it in. Oh, look, he's panicking, but he's on the wrong side of him. So if he tries to make a challenge or do anything, he's just going to give away a free kick or a penalty because he's going to take a step forward, and it's going to be a real problem. And you can see Odegaard shifts his body, so he's got no way to actually win the ball from him. He's going to put the ball over the top. Now the runner's going. All these extra players, look, that were doing nothing are still doing nothing because they've got to pressure the front of the ball. Okay, coming from the goals behind them, goal side, coming in and pressuring the ball. You can't pressure him on the blind side because it doesn't stop the pass. You have to pressure him in front of him. And they don't pressure him in front of him. And because of that, he ends up playing this little dinky worldy pass. and there's a myriad of players waiting just to smash this ball into the goal. But if you did watch that Sporting game, you'll understand about how they're playing their back on their left-hand side. They're the mop-up crew, they're the tap-in kings, and all they're looking for is balls across the box to tap in and keep the defence honest and actually having to stay in shape because they have to deal with the people on the back post. Similar situation here, but you can see none of the West Ham players are even bothering noticing these runs. You can have 1, 2, 3 players behind your back line and no one going with them. That isn't, by mistake. That's because they're either trying to play an offside system that they don't understand. And why don't they understand it? Because they don't have pressure on the front facing of the ball. The pressure's coming from behind the ball. So they don't understand that. So they can't step up because there's no pressure on the ball. So basically, they really don't have any understanding of what system they're trying to play compared to last year. And I tip West Ham to do quite well this year because they were doing really well last year. And they're just awful. They might be playing okay football, but ultimately that doesn't matter. You've got to get results. You can't play good football and lose every week. You have to get results. So now it's just a little pass across the box and a tap in on the back post, and Arsenal get themselves another one. Dosh, bosh, and in we go. Let's get on to the next one. This is the penalty. Again, I think this is cheap. I don't think there's much contact here whatsoever. If you watch this, right, that's where the contact is, because the part afterwards is the dive afterwards. Watch. Not real much contact there, and the stumble afterwards, what he does, because the player's coming across and sort of hits him, that's the stumble. I don't think this is a penalty. He doesn't really catch him. It looks bad because of this contact here. When this contact comes in here, look, it looks like he's knocking him over. That's because his body's so far forward. The player's nothing to do with that. It's not the player's fault. That's Saka's fault. Don't think there's much of a contact there. I think it's such a weak penalty to give away, but they give it anyway. Quality penalty though, really well taken, slots in, side foot, bit of power, keeping no chance. Really quality penalty. Again, this is West Ham not having a clue and Arsenal exploiting it very, very easily. Simple ball in over the top, should be just bread and butter to deal with. And I'll show you why they don't. So as a centre-back now, you're judging the flight of this ball, and your job is to make sure the ball doesn't beat you. Okay, and you know you've got a player coming because you've got 2 recovering people. Absolutely fine. You just make sure the ball doesn't beat you. That's what you got to do. And just track the ball in the air, and as the ball gets coming over, just keep running. If you can't get that ball, you don't go to ground, because if you go to ground and you don't get it, he just gets to go one-on-one with your goalkeeper. The fact he goes to ground here is shocking. Like, I don't know what are you thinking? Because if you don't win the ball, he's just going to score a goal. If you don't win the ball and you can hold him up just for a split second, you've got 2 trailing defenders that are going to help you. So all you want to do is basically run, make sure the ball doesn't beat you and the player doesn't beat you. Just keep running and get back as much as you can, because that is terrible. Because if you don't and you keep running, the player's still got to win the ball. He still has to get to it. His first touch might not be good enough. Anything can slow him down that's all you're waiting for. And these 2 players are back helping you defend. You make that mistake and you're putting your goalkeeper in a one-on-one situation that you shouldn't have been in, because you've dived, because your body shape was wrong. First, there were so many other things wrong, but the midfield weren't pressuring the ball properly. But we're just talking about the centre-back in this scenario and how the ball he could have saved if he just kept running. Not much the keeper can really do. I kind of like his body shape right here. He's far enough out because of where the ball bounced. See, look, these players would have got there and covered. All he had to do was make sure that the ball didn't beat him. He just kept running. That's all he had to do. Shocking, and he did it. So as this moves forward, takes a little bit of a touch. This is what I don't like, though. The keeper comes out a little bit too much here for me. I would have liked him there, maybe dropping off a bit. As he comes forward, steps forward, he just puts it past him. Do you see that step forward? That was the keeper setting himself. The minute he does that, that means he knows he can strike, and the keeper can't do anything because the keeper's got his weight on his foot because he just set himself. He can't, and then push. On that push, it's already too late because you've already fired the ball. Yeah? So, look, if you look, as well, his hands have gone that way. It's a game of you get a go, I get a go. He gets a go and he plants his foot to jump, but before he can jump, you've already shot the football and it's already in the back of the net. Let's get on to the next goal. Not really much to say about this from an Arsenal defensive point of view, because it's just a quality pass. If you tell me this guy's going to thread the eye of a needle pass all the way through there, you're going to go, nah, no way he's going to do that. Yeah, and he does. It's absolute quality. I mean, this West Ham do have quality in them. I expect better of them. But this is a quality pass. The one bazooka running in on the back stick. And God, he can't play football. I'll show you why in a second. This pass though is amazing. Doof, splits everyone, looking for the offside. Don't go and play the ball. Why I say he can't play is watch this finish, okay? So there's a technique into finishing, and you can see how people's how they strike a ball, what their body shape's like, and what the end product of the ball is of how good they are technically. Watch how he has to change his body shape to actually make sure he gets clean contact on it. He's kind of like in a C shape. It's hilarious. Watch this. As he goes to play, look, doof, that's awful. It means he almost toe poke the ball, which I'm fine with. Toe poke the ball, get yourself a goal. But that's shocking. Gets himself a goal, though. Yeah. And let's get on to the next one. Speaking about quality, we've got a quality free kick here. Not much you can say about it. Quality well taken. But I do not, and I've never been a fan of this player sitting behind the wall. I think it's stupid. I think it's basically saying, yeah, we're only going to go to there height wise. If you beat us there, you can do what you want, but we're losing a couple of players to do something stupid on the floor. I'm going to wait when one of these players gets injured. I mean, seriously injured, when the team jumps up and comes down and cracks somebody on the knee, and they'll never do it again because the physio staff and the medical staff will say, no, you don't ever do that again. But it's going to happen sooner or later. And it just takes a shot. Bosh, tops into net box. Quality goal. Going up for another corner. And this, I don't understand this. If you can punch somebody in the head and not be sent off in football, I think it's a bit weird. I know you're the goalkeeper and you're going up to clear a ball, but you still punched him in the head. Like, you've got to ask yourself, right, it's okay to punch people in the head if you're the goalkeeper because you're trying to win the ball. Well, is it? You still punched him in the head. You know, like, where does the foul change to be like, okay, now it's serious foul play because you punched somebody in the head? I know, was it Anana did this to a Wolves player the beginning of last season, and they never reviewed it on VAR, and it should have been a penalty. Man United should have lost the game. But yeah, this is shocking. The fact he goes and punches him in the head, and that's a penalty all day long. Yeah, but I think the keeper should have been sent off as well, just because it's serious foul play. Like, if you're going to come and punch, great, but punch the ball. Don't punch a player in the head, and don't have consequences when you don't get sent off. But there we go. Let's check out the penalty. Here it is a little bit from the other angle, so you can have a little bit of a look. As he comes up, Bosch catches him. Yeah. Penalty, quality strike. Keeper goes the right way. Doesn't matter because the power is on it, and he just gets it into the corner of the net box. Other than that, Arsenal are making their way back up the table. I had tipped to win the league this year, and we'll see how that ends up. And I'll see you next time on Cash Talks Football.